Meghan is never out of the limelight for very long, and the question of her presence or absence at the coronation was a whole saga which played out over many weeks and months before the announcement was finally made that Prince Harry will come by himself. But until this week, Meghan has only made a few public appearances lately, which is pretty unusual for her. Last month, she released a photo of herself visiting a shelter for homeless pregnant women. But before that, the last time she was seen at a public event was on December 7th at the Ripple of Hope Awards in New York. Now, when Spare was being released in January, and then of course there was that whole publicity tour that Prince Harry did, Meghan was not there with her husband. But now she has popped up again. She's like a whack-a-mole. She just won't stay gone for long. She filmed an introduction to a TED Talk by her favorite photographer, Misan Harriman, and that came out last Tuesday. And it's pretty obvious that the 2023 version of Meghan looks completely different. She has undergone quite the transformation. A lot of people are describing her look as rich mom energy. Now, 2 days later, the news came out that Meghan has signed to WME. That's a big Hollywood talent agency. And then on Monday night, we all saw her and Harry in a VIP box at the LA Lakers basketball game on the Kiss Cam. That's an event at which anyone, even remotely famous, can bet they are going to be photographed. She was wearing a pink linen Maxwell two-piece short suit from LA designer Brent Stout worth about 600 pounds, and she declined with a giggle to kiss Harry for the kiss cam. It seemed like they were having a lovely date night with, guess who, her lawyer, her manager, and some colleagues from Meghan and Harry's Archwell business, including at least 3 publicists and also executives from both the podcast and the TV arms of their media empire. And of course, Sussex watchers have been analyzing what they saw. Everything from her outfit, her purse, even her choice of snacks has been scrutinized, and has that sleek new look and powerful new representation. But the timing of this sudden interest in basketball, and apparently going out with some office people, is both significant and interesting. It couldn't simply be a coincidence that a bombshell panorama-style documentary about the couple aired 11 days before in France, right? The celebrated and serious weekly TV documentary show Envoy Special took a really hard look at Meghan and Harry earlier this month, and they didn't seem too impressed with everything they discovered. The episode was called Harry and Meghan, Royal Business, and it was focused on Archwell, the organization that was founded by Meghan and Harry back in 2020. So it includes both their charity division and the for-profit business, which make TV shows, like the Netflix docuseries Harry and Meghan and the podcast series like Archetypes. In one scene, a reporter for the show got access to the address that is listed as the official headquarters of Archwell. And he found huge but also empty offices on Wilshire Boulevard with no trace of Harry and Meghan or any other employees for that matter. Now eventually, some unidentified woman asked that he leave, and she refused to say whether or not Meghan and Harry had ever even been there. Instead, she just told him, "They're not here. This is a lawyer's office. This is a law firm." Pretty interesting stuff, huh? I mean, especially considering that Harry and Meghan have this considerable reputation for disliking the media already. Harry has criticized it for writing negative stuff about him and Meghan, and also the racial undertones of comment pieces about Meghan. So could there be a better way to counter all the negative publicity than to be finally seen on a wholesome outing with their big team? I think it's safe to assume that they're also going to have been upset about some of the allegations made in the show, which originally was broadcasted on April 13th. The show maintained that Meghan and Harry must have received at least $135 million via business deals, including their arrangement with Netflix, but posed the question of what exactly is going on with Archwell Foundation, the nonprofit arm of Archwell. The reporter, Julien Duponchel, looked into its accounts. In the latest report, they claim to have raised $13 million for charity. Listed in this table are the 22 checks they distributed to charities. In total, $2.9 million, he said. He went on to say, other significant expenditure, $1 million, but this time for their operating budget and costs. Result, $9 million is sleeping in the foundation accounts and is currently useless. Why isn't all this money being used to do good as this foundation intends? However, Archwell claims it plans to spend the next year working on three main pillars: building a better online world, restoring trust and information, and also uplifting communities, which we can assume is going to use up the $9 million they're saving. So these figures were published in January of this year, and they refer to activities that took place between 2020 and 2022. Now, the $2.9 million was donated to causes including refugee resettlement, COVID-19 vaccines, and also supporting academic fellows and humanitarian relief. Tax returns for that time period show that less than $4,500 came from public donations. $13 million came from two anonymous supporters. Duponchel claimed that he sent hundreds of emails and called dozens of times but didn't get any answer at all from anybody on Team Archwell. After that, Duponchel tracked Prince Harry down to a conference in San Francisco, which he was attending in his role as the Chief Impact Officer at BetterUp. The French journalist had a hidden camera in his backpack, and he got pretty close to Harry in San Fran, and he managed to get him on film before he was challenged by a bodyguard. A source at the show claims that they haven't received any complaint about their investigation, which is not necessarily to say that Harry and Meghan are not going to challenge some, if not all, of the allegations that Duponchel made if they believe him to be wrong. Another thing that is being widely debated is Meghan's motivation for signing for WME. The trade magazine Variety claims that WME is going to be representing her personally, and Archwell, the content creation label. This makes it seem a lot like Meghan is moving away from humanitarianism to making a quick buck. Supposedly, now Meghan is wanting to make a rom-com. Plans for her animated children's TV series Pearl, which was supposed to focus on a 12-year-old who is inspired by the stories of influential women throughout history, were quietly axed by Netflix just last year. So we can expect WME to team Meghan up with some high-profile producers, writers, and showrunners to finally get some content off the ground, which does not feature her on camera. So basically, she wants to become a wealthy entertainment mogul, much like her friend Tyler Perry. And there are other signs that Meghan and Harry's representatives are under pressure on another front. Just last weekend, the Daily Telegraph ran a story that suggested that Meghan had chosen not to attend the coronation after an exchange of letters with King Charles. Now, these letters came after the Oprah interview in 2021, and she was asserting that she had been asked by a mysterious royal about the color of an unborn Archie's skin. Everybody pretty much assumed this information came directly from Camp Sussex, but it was interesting because it provoked a rare denial from Meghan and Harry's press secretary, Ashley Hansen. But this air of superior casualness at the ridiculousness of it all has been undermined this week. The article has been republished online no fewer than 11 times, and revisions were made in the second, fourth, and fifth iterations. So this suggests there certainly was a bit of to and fro between Meghan and Harry and the newspaper over the ridiculous service they claimed they wanted nothing to do with. So what did they change? Well, first they changed an assertion that the remark about Archie's skin color had been considered an innocuous observation. And then a paragraph has been included that doubles down on Meghan's previously stated distress over racist abuse during her time as a working member of the royal family. But perhaps most significantly, there have been a few changes made to claim that the big reason why Meghan is not coming to the coronation is because it's Archie's birthday. Oh yeah, Meghan, you always put family first. And that's something that Prince Harry feels never really happened for him, and which comes across as a dig at the royal family. They did not think about Archie's birthday when choosing the date, so again, it's the institution's fault, and Meghan has to take the moral high ground by not coming. We need to note, though, that at this point, Meghan and Harry didn't send public birthday greetings to the Cambridge's son, Prince Louis, who turned 5 on Sunday. Harry described his brother as his nemesis in the memoir Spare, and the two are reported to have what seems to be a very broken relationship after its publication. We don't have to look very far to see the signs that the Sussex camp are still upset about events surrounding the death of Her Late Majesty the Queen. And all of this, we may believe, adds up to a state of almost war between Harry and Meghan and Harry's family. But apparently Meghan doesn't want to look like she's out for blood. The Telegraph article stated, while the issues raised during the racism row have never been resolved, the Duchess is said to have moved on and does not hold a grudge. Well, there is one line, though, that did not change. Meghan, it was said, may also have wanted to protect herself by sidestepping the inevitable criticism and attention that her appearance would have provoked, which is maybe the one thing on which everybody can agree.